Business and Financial Raw Talk, a no-holds-barred forum for leaders and innovators with award-winning business strategist and financial analyst LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group. With Raw Talk, we are empowering women to rise and succeed in business and finances, and improve the world for the next generation. Get ready to get raw and real. Live each Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on e360tv.com.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Business and Financial Raw Talk. I'm LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group, and I'm so excited about this show because it is Women's History Month, and I have three dynamic guests that will be joining us, and we're going to be talking about protecting our assets and securing our future. The theme this year for International Women's Day is #Embrace Equity. And for Women's Month, it is Women Who Tell Our Stories. And you'll see how these two themes will converge together with our three guests as we dig into a conversation about what it means to have that financial security, but what they're doing in their respective lanes of influence to help women and men, both in business and in life, secure their financial future. And before I introduce them, I want to show you a little video. Welcome. We have Sharon Mathis, Sheria Mathis, and soon to join us will be Shamarius Mathis. And if you can't tell by the last name, these are mother and daughters who are at the on our show today. And I'm just so excited. I've known Sharon for, I think, going on 4 or 5 years now. And it's just amazing to see her passion and commitment to helping individuals and their families build legacy, to help them understand the wonky world of finance, but also that she's sharing her story, building legacy with the next generation of Mathises, which are her two daughters here. And the introduction video said it all. It showcases the expertise, the commitment to excellence, and it's truly a family affair. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, LaWanna. Thank you for having us on your show. We're excited.
Thank you for saying yes. Hello. How's it going, Shamarius? Can you hear me?
Hi, pretty good, Miss LaWanna. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for joining. Well, I'm going to start off with your mother, Sharon, and I want you to tell us, Sharon, what was life like when you started in the insurance industry, not so long ago, right? And then I want to turn it over to Sheria and Shamarius to tell us, how is that world different today? Because today we have far more opportunities, especially as women of color, but there's still some challenges that we're facing when it comes to achieving equity and promoting awareness and getting that financial security that we want. So Sharon, I'll turn it over to you, and then Sheria and Shamarius, you can chime in. Sharon.
Okay, great. Thank you, LaWanna. Whoa, where did I start off at in the insurance industry? And yes, it wasn't that long ago. So I'll talk about when I first started in insurance. And I'll be honest, it was some time ago. We didn't even have computers like we have right now. And at that point, everyone looked at the insurance industry as a man's world. So when I came into it, pretty much the women were the one, we were in the office and we handled the paperwork. We did the legwork and the men went out and sold it. And even at that time when I was doing it, my whole thing was, they would ring the bell for the men and oh, woohoo, they sold it. And I'm thinking, I rated that, I did this and I did that. And I'm thinking, I can do this. So that's where I started and thinking, okay, I'm worth more than just the paperwork. I want to get on the other side of that table. And one of my agents gave me the opportunity to come and work inside the agency. And working inside the agency, no computers, just paperwork, everything done manually and by hand at that point. And at that point, one of their companies brought me in. They liked the service and they said, we would like you to come and work for us. So I got the taste of both worlds, the company side, the agency side. But once I taste a little bit of the agency side, I said, that's me right there. That's me. I want to be on the agency side. I want to be the one talking to the consumers out there. I want to sell it. So that's where I started and I enjoy it. I got the opportunity to actually get out there on the agency side and actually enjoy it.
You said something that I want to pause. For our listening audience, we're here celebrating Women's History Month with three dynamic women. A mother who is a rock star in the insurance realm, and she is building her legacy with her seed in the next generation of Mathises, Sheria and Shamarius. And you said something that you said, I am worth more than just being in the office. And you mentioned that the men got to have the bell rung for them.
I understand.
And that's a huge statement, Sharon. And to those that are listening, I hope you lean into that. So she just gave you the context of the world she came up in, a male-dominated industry, which it still is today. Mm-hmm. But there are some more opportunities in the fact that you've opened your own business. It's created a different lens and a different experience, I would suspect, for your daughters. So, Sheria, I'll start with you, and Shamarius, if you could share your experience.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. So for me, I've been in the industry for about 15 years. And I will say that the one thing I enjoy about insurance is the connections I've made with my clients. I enjoy educating my clients to making sure they understand their coverage, because I find that when your clients understand what it is they're purchasing, what their coverages are, it's hard to shop and it's hard to leave for $1. That's important because say, I got advertisement in the mail, but I remembered what you said. And I took your advice and I called just to get more information and realized, it was just to get the phone ringing. When I start going over coverage and explaining, hey, this is what I need and I understand why I need it, the rate was higher. If not, or the carrier didn't offer the benefits that I currently have. So I enjoy educating and arming my clients. You need to know what you're purchasing. So it's not so easy to just walk away for $5, even $100. And then also I feel like for me, I add value because I actually was just working with a client that had a claim. And he said, look, I've taken this as far as I can, and I need your help, because I know that you're my advocate and you're going to go to this adjuster and work for me and help get this done. And that's exactly what we do. We work with our clients. We're on our client side. But at the same token, we also work with the carrier too. So it's almost like we have to walk a fine line, like a balance beam. Like, you got to take care of your client, but at the same time, you're representing the carrier and making sure all parties are happy.
I love what you just said. And sometimes we find ourselves sandwiched, right, between two, and I don't want to use the word masters, but two people who we have responsibility to. So you have your clients, and then, as you said, the providers. So making sure you're representing them in the right way. But also, I love the fact, and you're echoing what I hear your mother say over and over again, you all are educators. That's huge. And again, I hope people are listening to this, because I know for me, the worst thing is to show up, whether it's on a phone or in an office, and you feel like you're just a number. They're just trying to get you in, get you out, get you to sign, and they really don't care, just as long as they've made the sale at the end of the day. But I see that the standard of excellence, the standard of caring and compassion and belief in what you're doing is carrying on in the two of you. And I think that's pretty powerful. So kudos to you, Sharon, for just doing a great job in carrying on the legacy that you want to see with Insurance Associates of Atlanta. Sheria, what about you?
Hello, my name is Sheria. I've been in the industry for 20 plus years. Going back to your question in regards to from when Sharon entered and then what Shamarius and I, of course, when Sharon entered the industry, it was rare for leadership of women. So when she came aboard the agency and she had this mindset that, hey, I want to own an agency at some point, we knew right away that we wanted to be there to support our mom. So we did whatever we could in regards to, hey, we're coming aboard, we want to work as well. And for her to be a woman-owned agency, that's rare. So as she stated, the industry was dominated by male. So for her to be a leader, then ultimately an owner, that was a huge milestone for us, and it motivated us. It wanted us to do more in the industry as well as the agency. A lot has changed since she started in the industry as well. As she stated, back then you did paperwork. Now women have the opportunity to do more than just the paperwork. You can be in sales positions. You can run an agency. So it was no limitations by the time we came in the industry. And, we're just pleased with all that our mom has opened the door for us. And we're just taking it by the horn and moving forward.
That's pretty awesome. How does it feel, Sharon, to hear what your daughters think about you and you're a trailblazer. You really are a Black woman, a woman in a male-dominated industry who not only rocked it on her own, but then said, you know what, I'm going to open up my own agency.
Yes, it's rewarding. It's very rewarding. And the one thing that I will never forget is the opportunity to do so. There is someone out there that had faith in me, that I had worked for his agency for over 15 years. And he had the opportunity to sell somewhere else. But because of how I operated his agency, and he was pleased with it, he gave me the opportunity to buy and continue on my new journey. And I have just enjoyed it because I love educating. I don't want to just sell you a policy. I like for you to understand exactly how your vehicle is going to run. I call it a vehicle. That policy is your vehicle. Understand it. When you go buy a car, you know where the gear shift is, your brakes are, the remote, and all this type of stuff. But we buy a policy and you don't know exactly how it's operating. So I'm just smiling to hear them say they like educating, and not that our clients are crazy or dumb. It's just that it's a policy. Who wants to read a 100-page policy? We want you to really understand what it is you're buying. So it's very important. It's rewarding for me.
And I like what you said, Sharon, again, echoing the fact that you all are about educating, because you don't know what you don't know. Our role as a consumer, it's like, I just know I need coverage. Mm-hmm. Now, what all that means and all the nuances, I don't know. I just want to know I'm protected. And just as a very simple example, during the pandemic, obviously, we're not doing a lot of driving at the height of it. And I remember talking to you, and you said, well, LaWanna, you do know you can adjust the mileage on your premium, on your policy, and your premium will get reduced. I didn't know that because I'd never been in this space and didn't even think to even ask. But because of that, I saved over $200, for my reduced mileage. In fact, was just reading that today and thinking about you, and I thought this is why it's so important to have relationships with your financial provider so that they can guide and educate you on the things that you don't know. So again, I just encourage those of you who may think, do I have the right insurance policy? It's okay to change providers. It's okay to change those that are caring for you, and reach out to insurance associates because they're here to give you advice. And if you do business with them, I think you'll be very satisfied. But if you choose to stay with whoever you have, you'll walk away that much more informed. Because I know I am, and I'm just so grateful for every dollar saved counts, right?
Exactly.
Insurance Associates Atlanta, your business insurance providers. Is your business insured, or do you need an overview of your coverage? Don't wait until you get a contract to get insurance. Why risk losing a contract due to not providing insurance by required deadlines? IAA insures apartment complexes, medical facilities, restaurants, shopping centers, nonprofits, and other businesses. Insurance Associates Atlanta is here for you and your business needs.
So ladies, let's talk a little bit about business insurance. And I like to call it the elephant in the room, especially for those small business owners, those solopreneurs. And I want to bounce it to you, Sheria, then we'll take the question to you, Shamarius. Can you talk to the audience and tell them why it's so important, no matter how small your business is, even if you're a business of one, why it's so important to have business insurance? Because I talk to those solopreneurs or those service related businesses, and they're like, I'm fine. My homeowner's insurance will cover it.
Well, every business owner should have some type of protection. I mean, you want to protect your assets, whether you're a one-person operation or whether you have more 3 or 4 employees. Definitely want to start with liability. You want to make certain that you're covered for any third-party claims, far as bodily injury, property damage that you may cause out of your scope of your work. Workers' comp for employees if they're injured. A lot of times I get those, hey, I only have 1 employee. It's not required for state of Georgia since I don't have 3 or more staff members. But if that employee is hurt, you're still responsible because they're doing work for your business. So it's important to make certain that you cover your employees, not only just third parties, but your employees as well. There's also the professional aspect. When you're providing professional services, if you make an error or omit something, you want to make certain that you can put that particular individual back whole if you cause them some type of financial loss or something like that. It's just important to have coverages in place to make certain that you're protecting your business assets. It's just like a home insurance. If you invested into a home, you want to protect that. If something came along, far as a fire or someone damaged your home, it's just the same thing in regards to business as well. Just protecting your assets. That's the ultimate goal. And one thing that I do like to point out about catastrophic, that is the main thing that people need to consider when they think about insurance. It is for catastrophic reasons. It's not a maintenance policy, or it's not for, let me just keep it there, maintenance. A lot of people use their insurance assuming that they could use it for maintenance. And so that is not it. Insurance is for catastrophic losses. If it was going to set you back, you couldn't pay out of pocket, that is what your insurance is used for in regards to claims. It's pretty much simple.
So when you're saying, well, let's define it just in case someone's not clear. When you say catastrophic, can you give a couple of examples what that would
Sure.
look like?
Let's say that there's a restaurant, okay? Someone has damage to a wall or something. Let's say that the employee was moving a table and they damaged the wall, trying to shift stuff around, and they could have damaged the wall where it's a good $500 to repair the wall because it's a special coating on the wall. They could have came in and did some type of skimming with a plaster type design for their restaurant. Instead of filing a claim and they have $1,000 deductible, that would be something that I would recommend a insured. Hey, you may want to reconsider that, because if you have $1,000 deductible, it's only going to cover 500, since there's a $1,000 deductible and the repair is only 500. There's only going to be a $500 payout, and yet you have a claim. So that is not anything that I would recommend an insured to file a claim for. However, if it was a bodily injury, that would be a little different. I never ever recommend an employee, or an owner, to gauge in regards to how serious the injury is, report those claims. But as far as property, sometimes you can self-insure those things even with insurance. And again, that's just going back to that claim. If there is a payout for $500 for the claim and you have $1,000 deductible, it's not worth it, because it's going to show up on your loss history. And your loss history is very important when it comes to business insurance. If you were ever to shop your business insurance, they're going to ask for the loss history, and that there is what tells you your frequency, meaning the number of claims you have, and your payouts. And you don't want a whole bunch of little claims where it's 500 here and there, and they're stacking up 3 and 4 claims each policy term. There's not going to be a carrier out there that wants to look at you or insure. So again, I recommend when reporting claims, think of catastrophic. What can set you back? $500 should not set any business back. You should always have some type of dollar amount in mind that you would pay out of pocket in regards to claims. Not saying that you shouldn't report a claim, because that's what you have insurance for, but you want to think catastrophic as to, hey, $500 is all they're going to pay out versus something where it's a $5,000 payout for a claim. That's huge. I mean, not every business can pay out $5,000 for a claim. So $500 is something that, hey, that's worth considering not reporting that claim if it's something that I can handle.
I like that. And one of the things that we find, Sheria, is that women don't like talking about finances. We'll talk about everything else, but when it comes to our finances, we just don't, for whatever reason. Maybe we don't know what to ask. Maybe we don't have the literacy that we want. And Sharon and I talk about it often. Women don't consider, for the most part, not all, insurance as part of that financial portfolio. So I want to turn this over to you, Shamarius, and I'd like you to speak to the women specifically, because we complain about pay inequity, right? We're getting 80 cents on the dollar for white women, 67 cents on the dollar for African American women, 50 cents on the dollar for Hispanic women. You got that issue. So we're earning less. And then we find that we're sandwiched taking care of senior parents, children, and we've been more impacted disparately impacted by the pandemic compared to men. Yet we don't want to talk about finances. So I'd like you, whatever's on your heart, what do you want to say to that woman out there who's thinking, you know what? I think I can do without business insurance coverage. I think I'll be okay.
Right.
So what do you want to tell her?
So, Ms. LaWanna, here are my thoughts, and you are right. As women, we have to work harder when it comes to men, and in just about every industry, and insurance is no exception. But the one thing that I always tell my clients, and you can verify this, in Atlanta, we have the highest number of entrepreneurs, especially Black entrepreneurs, the highest percentage of Black entrepreneurs. And the one thing that I say is when you go into business, the whole goal is to build wealth. And when you're building that wealth, you want to protect it, which is where the insurance comes in. You work so hard, so you put your heart and soul. I've heard of women who have emptied out their retirement accounts and poured into a business. And then you say, well, why do I need this insurance? The whole purpose is so that you don't have, as Sheria said, a catastrophic claim or a liability claim that comes along, and then you don't have coverage. And now you've got to get an attorney, and the billable hours, trust me, they add up. And when you're fighting another insurance company, they have money. They're just going to throw paper at you, and you will be a year later bankrupt, business closed, when you could have made a purchase in insurance. Unfortunately, yes, it costs money. But my thoughts are, put that money out there and know that you have peace of mind. One of the challenges with insurance is it is intangible. You make a payment every month, and a lot of times we don't get anything back for it. It's not like you can go to Publix and hey, I spent $20 and this is what I have. Insurance is not like that. You are paying for peace of mind. When you make that premium on your liability, you're paying to protect the business for things like slip and falls. When you pay that workers' comp, you're covering employees. The employee that says, hey, I fell while working for you. Well, okay, I'm going to turn this claim in to the carrier because I carry workers' comp. When you pay for your professional, you're paying for the professional service that you provide to your clientele. A client could come back and say, hey, I followed your advice and it didn't work for me, and I incurred this financial loss. Okay, that's fine. That's why I pay for professional coverage. There's insurance out here for just about every facet of your business to protect you as you build your wealth and protect your business. So I say, if you're in business, you need insurance to protect what you're building.
Yes, and you gave two examples, and the first you said the slips and falls, and then again, if you're providing that service, the errors and omissions, if a client says, I followed you and it didn't work and it cost me X, you can put yourself up for a lawsuit. And do you want to risk your own personal assets because you didn't do the right thing to safeguard yourself? And again, your mom helped me out. We were at a women's prosperity event in downtown Atlanta, and guess who ended up falling? I did. And fortunately, I won the case because they didn't have a sign up there that it was a wet floor. But I was bouncing back and forth with your mom, what do I do? And she was making sure that, you go to the chiropractor, you follow every little thing. Again, I'm thinking, well, I don't really need that. I'm okay. She's like, no, you're trying to build a case and they're going to be watching you. And she even said, make sure you're not doing certain things on social media, out there running if you say you've got a back injury, because you never know who's watching. But again, I didn't know what I didn't know. And even from an errors and omissions standpoint, that's a scary thing, is to not have the right business coverage and you get a knock on the door that says, well, if you've been in business long enough, people are going to try to sue you. Again, ladies, we're speaking specifically to the women right now, and or men who have wives or daughters in business. Lean into what these three are saying. It's protecting your future by having the right coverage. Sharon, I want to turn this over to you, and I'd like you to talk a little bit about why for you as a woman, and a woman in business, and a woman who is in business with her daughters, why is legacy so important to you, number one? And when everything's said and done and you decide to hang up your insurance hat, what do you hope to see for the next 20 years with Insurance Associates of Atlanta?
Right now, where I am, I think we're in a happy place with insurance and where it is. The legacy is very important to me, because the most important thing to me was my family was my why. finding my why. They have always been my why of working hard. They've been my why for what I am doing. My grandkids have been my why. They've never been in a daycare. They've always been at the office. My daughters have been able to go to anything that the school had that the kids were doing, pick them up, drop them off. So that meant a lot to me. My husband and I have been able to attend a lot of things. That's my why. Where we're going now, with the insurance industry, it would be my hope that the girls would want to continue it on. Anytime I've ever thought about selling or backing out or just saying, okay, I think I'm done, I have clients that literally tell me, you can't retire. If you retire, you be sure you call me. I had a client text me over the weekend and say, look, I received your letter of needing to review my insurance. We need to be rewritten. Please know that company can be replaced, but Insurance Associates cannot be replaced. It melted my heart. She said, you guys have always taken care of us. And that, to me, as a legacy, it means a lot to take care of our clients. People think it's just money. It's not just money. If they thought about what we make off of a homeowner's policy, it's not your whole home premium. So 10% of that is not a whole lot. It's really taking care of our clients, and that is what has held us together. Our clients, our legacy, my legacy here is for them to be able to carry on and be able to make a living along with my grandkids and whatever else we choose to do. One thing that I like to do is have multiple streams of income. If we get into real estate, I would like to do a little bit more of real estate. So this legacy means a lot to me. Did I answer the second question? It was a second question.
Yes, you did. You wrapped it all in.
Okay, because this has been a journey, and I have so enjoyed this journey. I really have, because the two girls you see in front of you there, they have been my backbone. When I say truly my backbone, my financial person, Shamarius Mathis, Sheria, the operations person that keeps the office going. It tells you how much I deal with the financial aspect of it. I went to the bank one day and they were asking who I was. And they said, well, we always deal with the Shamarius Mathis. I had to prove who I was. And they were asking, but that's okay. But that means the trust level, my backbone, sitting right in front of you. So this legacy has meant a lot to keep alive for them in order to move to the next phase of where we're going.
I love that. And I like that you're all working in your lanes of expertise, but in your areas of strength. And then together, it just makes Insurance Associates that much more stronger and that much more impactful to the communities that you serve. We are almost out of time, and I want to do a little round robin. And I'd like you to, I'll start with you, Sheria. What is it that you want to tell the woman today? Whether it's the woman thinking about going into business, whether you want to share something about having the right coverage, but what lasting words would you like to leave our listening audience? And then I'll turn it over to you, Shamarius, with the same question.
Well, I would say find you a network of women that will support you, encourage you. They're in different industries that can advise you as well. It's very important to have people around you that have like-minded goals. That way that you're never feeling it like you cannot achieve or reach those goals. It's always good to always have someone support at your corner, whether it's family, friends. Join networks as well. That's very important. Networking, that's what's going to get your foot in the door in anything that you need for your business, whether it's insurance, whether it's real estate, whether it's supplies. Once you start to network, you will see that your business will move forward, whether it's business or personal. Let me just say that as well, because you may have something that you need personally as well. And there's someone in your network that can assist you. So it's very important to have a good support group. As far as insurance, I would like to say, just make certain that with insurance that you are with someone that educates you. Like Shamarius stated, we are big on educating our clients. And that's one thing that we get a lot of feedback on is that we take the time to educate our clients. We're not just selling a policy. We may lose a policy due to pricing, but we're going to make certain that we have the coverages that's going to cover different businesses, different aspects of the businesses, let me say that. Or if it's personal insurance, I'm going to make certain that we take into account that pool in the back or that gazebo, other structures to make certain that it's properly valued as to what they invested in their property. So just make certain that you're taking the time, speaking with your agent. A lot of people love to purchase online, but that can have downfalls as well when you don't know what you should be looking for, telling your insurance carrier what you have in regards to protecting what you have invested in home or business. So find you an agent that's willing to educate you. If they're not willing to answer the questions, that should be a red flag for you.
I love that. So two key lanes that you just addressed our audience, and I hope you all leaned in. And if not, go back and listen to the replay. But having those networks that will support you, engaging in those, and building those solid relationships. And the second thing, tap into that financial person, that insurance expert who is going to educate, who's going to advise, who doesn't just see you as a number, but sees you as another human being on the other side who's looking to protect their assets. And they're holding hands with you, ensuring that you're able to make the best possible decision for you and your family. So thank you so very much, Sheria, for joining us. Shamarius, what would you say to the woman watching today?
I'd have to piggyback on what Sheria shared. I agree 100%. It's building the network. You should have a professional in just about every branch. You know, you've got the financial, you've got someone for insurance, you've got your accountant, whatever it is, whatever industry you're in, you should have someone in your contact that you can reach out to, that you have somewhat of a good rapport with, that you can shoot a text to. I have clients that do that to me. You know, I may be working and get a text. It's a client reaching out like, hey, you know, let me run this by you before I make a mistake. You know, those kinds of things matter. If you're in the health field, you should have someone that you can reach out to that can help you bounce ideas off of and help you kind of figure out what direction to take. And those are the things that I like to try to do for clients, even friends that reach out and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. What are your thoughts from an insurance perspective? What do I need to be mindful of? Don't put the cart before the horse, because sometimes you know, we've had prospective clients call and they've gotten so far into an ordeal financially, and it's like, oh wow, I didn't realize the insurance was going to cost so much. I wish I had reached out before, because I would have taken a different step, or I would have thought more carefully about the financial moves I've made. So I think it's important to have a good network of.
Thank you so very much, Shamarius, for joining us today. And I love both of your perspectives and just your call to action to our women. It's like, come on, let's get off the sidelines. You want to see things changed for your financial future? Well, now that you know better, it's time to do better. Right, Sharon?
Absolutely. Absolutely so.
So Sharon, talk to our women. What do you have to say to them today?
Women out there, I want to say, first of all, if you're in business, I'm proud of you. A lot of people look at it as if it's just a hunky-dory, it's easy, but I want to say hats off to you for getting out there and doing it. And I'll piggyback off everything Shamarius and Sheria said. You do need to find a good network of women, or just a good network, period. And first of all, believe in yourself. You believe in that business. If you don't believe in yourself, I certainly can't believe in you, because you're already showing me you don't believe. So believe in yourself. Why are you doing this? Believe you can do it. And I'll have to piggyback off the show we just had. Sometimes you don't see it, but if you go back to Hebrew, I think Hebrew 11:1, you don't always see it, but believe it. Faith is believing. Believe you can do it. Believe in yourself that you can do it. And number one, always set your goals in front of you. Keep moving forward. Always know financially as well, insurance is something that you are going to need. It's not really just an expense. When you have a claim, that's when you really appreciate insurance. That's when you appreciate it. You can't hold it in your hand. It's not tangible. You can't go back and get a refund because you didn't use it last year. Insurance is just that. You're going to trade some money for a possible risk. And it says possible risk. That's what it is. And for your peace of mind and for your health, getting your insurance in order is a big ordeal because you don't want your restaurant to catch on fire and you not have insurance. You don't want anybody to eat some food and get sick and you not have the proper insurance. Can you imagine what that's going to do to your health and you can't sleep at night because Joe Blow said that they got sick off some pecans and they were allergic to pecans? So your financial risk there means a lot. Take care of yourself. People look at insurance as something they don't need. That helps you financially. Get that insurance in place, even your life insurance. Women, we got to protect ourselves. Get it in order. That's getting your house in order. We're the ones that's left a lot of times to take care of those parents and take care of those spouses. Get that insurance in order. Get that trust in order. We got a lot of things we need to be getting in order, and that's going to protect us as well. So we have to look at it strategically in what we need to do and just what insurance means to you.
I love that. We've been here with Insurance Associates of Atlanta, and if you missed the intro, I want to just give you a little refresher of who they are.
LaWanna,
Yes.
can you tell them where all these commercials come from? All my commercials were done. Is it okay if I say?
Yes, go ahead.
By LaWanna Bradford. I get a lot of compliments on my commercials. So I think this is a good time for everyone to know. And the one she just played is one of my favorites, and I just love them. They all come from the Bradford Group. Thank you, LaWanna.
Thank you so very much for sharing that. And I'm going to put a little plug in for myself now. 1 second. Thank you very much, Sharon, for that plug. And yes, our media team, we do commercials for small businesses as well as big business. And if you're interested, you can always reach out to me. But today was about celebrating women's history and 3 amazing women, Sharon Mathis, Sheria Mathis, and Shamarius Mathis of Insurance Associates of Atlanta. Insurance Associates of Atlanta, they are a legacy company, continuing to build legacy, opening up opportunities for individuals like you, like me, and ensure that our assets are protected so that our family can have the generational wealth that we hope to have. It's through their expertise and their guidance that takes that burden off of our shoulders and gives us the peace of mind that we're looking for. I want to say a special thank you to Sharon Mathis, Sheria Mathis, and Shamarius Mathis for joining us on another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk, a no-holds-barred forum for leaders and innovators. And I just want to leave you with one thing. Remember that in life and in business, when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. And these three are showing it, have shown it, and are living it every single day. Thank you so very much, ladies. Until next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, LaWanna.
Bye-bye. Thank you, LaWanna.